You're going to see that there's a little bit more editing than usual in this episode, and that's just because I wanted to fit in 2 projectors, so I had to do a little bit of cutting out some chaff.
You're going the right way. I don't actually think there's a wrong way. I mean, you could turn around, but that would just be back that way. Don't go back that way. Unless you want to.
Hello.
Hey, it's me. How you doing?
I'm sorry, who is this?
It's me, Jim.
Sorry. I didn't recognize your voice for a moment there.
That's okay, don't worry about it. Anyway, how are you?
Good, actually. I've been painting again. Quite well, actually, you know.
That's great news. How's your new home? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
I'm sorry, I have to go.
This combination lock wheel is red, and that's because it belongs to the safe, which is downstairs in the case. I'm not going to install it just yet. I'm just gonna, stow it on a shelf, and we'll do it when we've got all of them.
Incredibly close to the objective. Well, the readings are showing us that it's currently close to the location, and I'm certain we can do it. Yes, I promise you will have the results soon. I won't let you down. Once it's located, I'll send him there straight away.
We're now going to tackle the Arsenic House projector. And the first thing that we're going to do is turn the power on. Those settings have been helpfully placed in the case for our reference, even though they're scattered all over the place in there. But I came back to the case because I wanted to show you something that is new. And I'm going to skip forward time just a little bit here and spare you me messing about.
It's not going to get any better. This isn't going to get any easier for anyone.
It says here that arsenic was a very useful byproduct of the tin refining process and is still used in many medicines and foods. The miners ground and burnt out any unwanted materials and then exported it for money. But in these quantities it was extremely lethal. Accidents here were often fatal. Let's find out what happened here.
The point of everything that we're doing here in the industrial area is to restore it to full working order. So in order to restore this arsenic house projector, we need to go through the whole process of the arsenic production. The only thing really of interest in this room is a side door, and you should know where we're going to get the combination for this door.
Pumping the rest of the savings into hospital treatments won't make this all go away.
I'm not sure about you, but the first thing I want to do when I find a substance that is highly flammable is to make fire. But the logic behind what we're doing here is to create intense enough heat to refine the arsenic powder.
Starting to wear on all of us, grinding us down day by day. This would all be easier to deal with back in England.
Opening the storage room and making the fires hotter were parts 1 and 2 of the projector, and the third part is actually to export some arsenic. If you notice this clock on the wall, it works now that we have power, and it takes 10 seconds to make a full revolution. I looked at it earlier, but there's a sign on the wall that says the maximum speed for the grinding is 5 revolutions per hour. You can get a glimpse of another clock through the window there. And they're in tandem, so that's not fast enough.
Life is slower and easier. The savings could be spent on our retirement, or living comfortably.
You can do this 2 ways. You can either look at the clock and the grinder in tandem, or you can just do some math and realize that each revolution should take 2 seconds. And then down here is the actual export. This isn't going to do anything because we're still not going fast enough with the grinder.
Tell them tomorrow. They'll understand. This is the best thing for everyone.
Today was a difficult one. We're using a medical wristband that was kept from the hospital in America. I think that seeing a hospital band and being in a facility like this was very hard to comprehend. This time in life represents having to leave America and the life they made together. It can't have been easy to just pack up and leave as quickly as they did, and especially having to leave Jim behind. We're getting to the more recent memories now, and I feel that we're getting closer in every session. I'm going to make our sessions daily from now on, until we get a result.
Whoa, man, slow it down. There's too much arsenic coming through.
How long do you think it takes to paint a sky like that?
You'll notice again we've got a restored victory shaft there.
A large bundle of postcards just laying in a pile on the front porch.
This is called a victory shaft. Apparently it could be seen for miles around and controlled the central operation to the industrial area. Each of the 4 work pillars were pivotal in Pinwheel's economic success, and all of them, working to full capacity, was required to create a sustainable export operation.
These are the 4 work pillars, I guess. We can't finish this yet, but it does lead to a 5th projector. This 4th projector is probably the most difficult one in this industrial area. Ore tramming. There's a lot of steps to it, and normally when you're playing the game you do a lot of running around and trial and error. But the idea is, again, that we need to get the ore tramming stage into full functioning order. So the key idea here is that there are 6 vats with 6 hoppers. Receives deliveries from the mine, and then is output to this arsenic house. There's one more place we need to look for information, and that's in the ore tramming office. We were here before, if you remember, very briefly. This board, essentially by filling it out, we finish this ore tramming puzzle. 2804, you'll notice there is actually the combination to the desk upstairs, the one which wasn't locked. And if you look at the combination on it, it says 2804. This comes from the note which we just read upstairs, and the weight from chute number 5 is what we need to finish that. I'm just looking at that again for some reason. There's nothing actually showing on this weight meter. What we need to do is actually go through the process of doing some more tramming. So we need to get everything up and running, do a little demo. Just like all the other sections, the first thing we need to do, really, is to restore the power.
When you look back on it, 10 years seems such a long time.
Ore tramming. This is where all of Pinwheel's wealth was sorted into bags. Each fathom of the mine was assigned a captain, and it was the captain's job to keep track of the ore produce. I'm sure I'll have more information for you once we head down into the mines themselves.
The vets are now operational, but we still can't go through the process yet. We need to receive stuff from the mine, which is currently locked.
Not many people know about observations. Simply put, I get my orders from them. I'm the one who works at the front line, with the restorers, whilst they remain behind closed doors. How can they possibly know the complexities and difficulties we face on a daily basis?
We can't unlock deliveries from the mine on this end. We need to find the other end of the tracks, which we have seen very briefly. this puzzle is actually as simple as it looks. You need to find 3 wheels that add up to 18. I'm intentionally going to mess this up because there's an optional second part, but if you don't mess it up, then it just literally takes a couple of seconds. There's a sort of junction box or power box there. We do not have the combination for that in our little magic notebook because it's not an employee locker or office. Given what we know about the poor management of passwords in this facility, I think we can assume that it's probably nearby or found in a pretty straightforward way. And if you remember, we picked up a strange light bulb in someone's locker. I did show where to find the fuses previously. They were in a set of lockers in the miner's dry. And between then and now, I've grabbed a proper replacement, so it's waiting here for me.
For richer, for poorer, for better or worse, in sickness and in health. No matter what comes our way, we'll always have each other.
This is a weird little area. We've got 2 pipes here labeled tin and iron, and something called a knocker code of signals. I should mention very briefly while I'm showing this sign that someone in my thread pointed out I don't need to put arsenic in the boss's coffee. I can optionally throw the arsenic into the arsenic disposal bins and just give him regular coffee. So I guess I'm just evil. What we need to do is receive a shipment from the mine. So that's the code we need to use. And we need to knock on the pipes in the specified way. We do actually have a knocker from the first area. We used it to ring the bells in a bells workshop. And I've just saved it, so I'm grabbing it here. But there is another one in this level. This is me showing very briefly the location of the other knocker. And there should have been a better edit there, sorry. We're now up again in the sort of oversight area. And we're going to mess around with the control panel now that we have a shipment from the mines and everything is operational. We can just see what these do.
Once you've sifted through all the trials that life throws your way, you can focus on what brought you together.
Now that we have some material in our vat, we can see how much it weighs and put it on the chalkboard.
The lines on our faces may have changed, but our love remains as strong as the day we met.
It's such a shame that a condition such as this can have such devastating effects on the lives of so many. But they seem to have enjoyed each other's company to the fullest whenever possible, and that's an inspiring thought. I think the way in which Jean's reacting to Thomas in our sessions proves their love for one another. I certainly think it's having a large impact on the treatment so far.